Great to
I
see you.
guess.
We point out Mayor Eric Adams, and I think the conversation we're having is right because
He's an exception to the rules.
it's notable now because everyone else is doing it.
But they went after him, and that's also why. He knows what it's like to have the government weaponized against him.
Well, there's another Democratic politician who's kind of a zig to everyone else's zag, always saying something different. And that's Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania. And he's saying, hey, look, you drive around Pennsylvania and you see something different about the support for Donald Trump.
There's a difference between not understanding, but also acknowledging that it exists. And anybody spends time driving around and you can see the intensity. It's astonishing. I was doing an event in Indiana County, very, very red, and there was a superstore of Trump stuff, and it was 100 feet long, and it was dozens of T-shirts and hats and bumper stickers and all kinds of, I mean, it's like, where does this all come from? It's the kinds of thing that has taken on its own life on that. And it's like something very special exists there. And that doesn't mean that I admire it. It's just like, it's real.
Yeah. My hometown where I grew up has a Trump store. And you go to Eastern Tennessee where we were for the football game, I mean, there were Trump stores in almost every town. I mean, it is a different phenomenon. He's simply acknowledging that, which you would think and believe translates into outcomes.
You brought this up. I think it's notable, so I think I want to say it because his comeback is astonishing. It's inspiring.
Fetterman.
His physical comeback is
he's
incredible, and I want to give him a lot of credit for everything that he's done on that. And as to whether or not, the last thing he said about like what he's talking about is like the visual manifestation of Trump support. But he said this as much before, like with blue collar rural voters in Pennsylvania. He said, I don't admire it, but I observe it. It's real. I actually think he admires it to some extent because I think he wants to be someone who's connected to that level of the voting public, and he sees that Trump is so connected to it. And so I do think he's a curious enough person to go, what's going on here?
I've talked to people on the ground in Pennsylvania, and they will tell you it's real. That if you're there, you don't believe that it's as tied as they say it is. I'll say this too, somebody who's been on campaigns, when a campaign is winning, you feel it on the ground. I remember so vividly being up in rural Wisconsin, northwestern rural Wisconsin, and DC was saying, Hillary's got this. And I was like, it's impossible. I'm feeling this. And that's the feeling that he's seeing. By the way, in Pennsylvania, there are horse and buggy Amish Trump parades going on. That's the level of penetration that Donald Trump has. The Amish generally kind of stay out of it. They're doing Trump parades right now.
I was going on the spectrum of lifestyles. I think you'd have Donald Trump over here.
And the Amish. Talk about
bringing
that.
everybody
He's
together.
bringing the Jews, the Muslims, the Amish, everyone together.
It's a coalition. And as Eric Trump said in our program, there's a lot of love. Well, you want to be somewhere else where there's a lot of love? Join us on December 5th here in New York for the Patriot Awards.